Yeah.
All right. Thanks for joining Go Bag. On behalf of my co-host Harrigan, I'm Sean. Today we are going to tackle Vignette, even though it's not the first game we reviewed. Go figure. But
Yeah.
nonetheless.
Well, it may not be for the reason that people are thinking, though, because I think from the, folks know that both of us seem to prefer James Bond maybe a little bit in terms of the rule set. But you were going to run Top Secret, but we have a line on somebody who is like a very practiced and accomplished GM. So we probably are going to let them run the vignette, and then we'll, provide some feedback and kind of analyze it from there. So that's the only reason why it's out of order. Although I don't know, Sean, if we're going to run a vignette for everything, right?
Right.
So yeah, get what you get with this show. Get what you pay for.
So
we're gonna, yeah.
So the purpose of this episode. So if you are tuning in to Go Bag for the first time, this is not the episode to tune into, right? You could start with episode 1 or 2, then move your way forward, as some people may know. But this one's going to be a little unique. It's the first format of its kind for this show, for Go Bag. Harrigan is going to be the game master. He's going to run James Bond 007, the 1983 hit by Victory Games. I am going to be playing Vincent Drake, who is an agent rank player character of MI6 with, a plethora of statistics, which are, I can go into those if you want, Harrigan.
Maybe briefly, but before you do that, because I think, when Vincent comes on screen, we'll do a little bit of that. What's he look like, and what's he good at, and all that kind of stuff, Sean. I did want to just do a little bit of grounding around the types of things we're going to be trying to do in these vignettes. So they're meant to be short form role play, and based on one of the games that catches our interest. And I will say that, we're not experts at these games. I haven't tried to run this game since 1984 or 5. And, recently have come back to it and reread the rules and reviewed it and all that good stuff. But I fully expect I will stumble, I will make mistakes, etc. Because these are not non-involved rules. I think at the heart of them, they're pretty simple, but I think there's lots of little flyer things here and there that we may miss. So by all means, take us to task on that stuff, remind us of what we're missing or forgetting. That'll be the case for virtually all the vignettes that we run. I'm pretty firm proponent of the fact that you need to run and play a game 3, 4, 5 times before you really start to understand some of the design principles and don't overlook certain things that might be a little more nuanced and that sort of thing. Having said that, I think it is going to be kind of cool to play some of the games that we talk about. I don't think we're going to have time necessarily to play every single one of them, but I guess the last thing I wanted to make sure that you understood, Sean, going into this, this is going to be a Bond movie. This is the James Bond game, so it's not Cold War espionage in Eastern Europe in 1960, right? Which you want, but we'll get to that with the games that support that. This game is aimed at cinematic spy action from the films and from the books. And I will also say I plan on jumping around a little bit. So we will be not into deep storytelling and role play. I want to make sure we showcase the mechanics. So that'll probably be true for every game that we play, although some games will have far fewer mechanics than games like Top Secret and James Bond that we want to kind of get into. But don't expect every scene to chain together perfectly. We're going to jump around like that. Like I said, we're going to sort of there'll be some meta talks, some sort of out of character talk as well as we examine rules in real time, and I help Sean make his rolls and all that stuff. Okay, all right. Well, as our movie opens, then. You do work for MI6. You are a British agent, Mr. Vincent Drake. And for those listening along, Vincent is agent level, so he's midstream in his career as a covert operative. Basically, you can be a rookie, you can be an agent, you can be a 00 sort of level. So Sean used 6,000 points to build this character in the game. Pretty cool. So he's got you should be a pretty competent solo kind of character, I think. But as we open, we're in Cairo in 1970. So picture dusty streets, throngs of people in the bazaars and the souks and the markets, selling their wares, traveling back and forth, baskets on heads, people carrying water to and fro. It's just a very busy place. And as we zoom in on Vincent Drake, whom do we see? And what's Vincent good at, Sean? I'll tell you what his mission is in a moment, why he's in Cairo. But in these dusty, sun-bleached streets, what do we see when we see Vincent?
Vincent, it's in Cairo, is probably wearing a white cotton suit with a black tie and probably a white shirt with the top button undone from the heat. And then he probably yeah, it's hot. And then he probably has a fedora to keep the sun off of his face a little bit, or probably a straw type of fedora. It's quite not as unique as the suave of what somebody may be used to when looking at an MI6 James Bond type of agent. But that's his like superpower. He's very unique in that way. He's about 5'2", 179 pounds. So he's a bit of a stocky gentleman from England. He's got salt and pepper hair underneath that hat that kind of shows right around the ears. He is obviously a male and about 28 years old. So he's fairly young as his age goes, maybe a little bit on the naive side. He's got a little bit of a double chin, kind of rosy cheeks, and of course, pretty fair skin. So wants to keep out of that sun because he'll probably burn up and look like a tomato quite quickly as the Egyptian sun beats down. He is not happy to be in this particular type of environment, but it is, duty calls. And he, reaches into his breast pocket quite often and brings out the handkerchief to pat his brow and his forehead from the sweat and keep the sweat from running into his eyes.
Got it. Love it. And so subtext here, Sean's agent Drake is very recognizable, has lots of fame because he's short. He is striking looking. So he's got these piercing blue eyes and this salt and pepper hair that Sean described. Good looking guy, even though he's, got an unusual physique, I guess is what I would say. Yes. But that means your fame is 130. So it's very high. Also helped out by the fact that you've been in the field for a while. You're an agent, right? You had to roll to see if you had scars. Didn't come out with any scars. You did do some rolling during character generation that puts you sort of. I think there were some years of experience that you sort of rolled up. That's part of one aspect of the game we're not going to go into deeply around, like professions and that sort of thing. But it made you a little bit older, and you gained some fame from that, right? So, long story short, we have our white clad MI6 agent abroad. You are looking for a man named Juan Dario. Dario. You're looking for Dario because Dario is rumored to know the location of an exclusive and famous casino and resort where various ne'er-do-wells in the underworld go in Spain, called La Reina Roja, the Red Queen. He's supposed to know where this place is. Why do you want to know where the Red Queen is? It's supposed to be a haunt of a man named El Scorpion Blanco, the White Scorpion. He's an assassin. So you're on the trail of this assassin, and the way to get to them is through this finding the casino that you think Juan Dario knows. You have Juan Dario in your sights right now. So I described how busy the streets were, and he is a swarthy looking dude, black, thinning hair, that he's also sort of got sweat running down. It's a hot day. He has some sense that someone's onto him, and he's making his way through the crowd, kind of looking furtively over his shoulder and sort of, moving relatively quickly. And you can tell there's a large stand of like bicycles, motorcycles, and tuk-tuks, and he's heading for that stand, as in he's planning on leaving this market. He's got the heebie-jeebies, like, is someone watching me? What's going on right now? So you have various ways you can try to approach him. What is if you do that, what does Vincent do?
I think Vincent is going to realize that he is making his way towards a potential escape route from here, maybe hopping on a bike or something, moped,
Yep.
whatever, and he's going to close the gap. I do have stealth, but I am going to sacrifice probably some of that as I try to close the distance. Maybe he's already aware that I am onto him.
So, okay. So here's where we step back a little bit from our story, and I'll talk in a little bit real time about what you can choose to do. As in any game, you can do anything you want, right? But the game really supports, in this case, like you would roll evasion is the way you would try to get there quickly, or you would make a stealth roll if you did not want him knowing you were coming up on him, right? And in both cases, the better your quality result, the closer you'll get before he hops on whatever his mode of transport is going to be and tries to make his getaway, right? Like maybe you'll even be able to catch him before he makes it there, right? But it depends on, let me put it this way. If you try, even though it says evasion, it's really kind of, there's some movement sort of baked into that as well. He'll know you're coming. He'll see somebody running through the crowds. If you try stealth, you might be able to get closer, and he maybe even will get on his mode of transport and take off without even knowing you're behind him. So with those sort of two framings, what is your approach?
In that case, then I will attempt to do stealth, and maybe I can get him. Maybe I can tail him without spooking him, and a better opportunity of closing the gap. So I think that's the key. That's what I'm trying to accomplish. Is I don't want to lose him.
Got it. I tell you what. Let's then go to your evasion skill, and I want to do a little bit of reading just briefly here. Yeah, I'm gonna go with an evasion roll. So we're gonna look at your primary chance in evasion, which would be based on
just
strength and dex divided by 2 plus your skill level, which Sean says is a 14, right? Okay. So with that 14, we're going to apply an ease factor. So again, remember, the lower you roll on your percentile dice, we're going to do some cross-referencing here, but the lower you roll, the better result you'll get, right? But the ease factor here starts at a 5 because that's the default for every action in James Bond. But I'm going to lower it to a 4 because Dario is suspicious. He knows he's got the feeling that he's the kind of guy from just trailing him and from doing some research on him. He's not a heavy hitter. He's the kind of guy who's like a second story thief. He's someone who's an information broker, but he's also pretty good at keeping his nose clean, if you know what I mean, right? So he's got the scent in the air that someone's after him. So with ease factor 4, you would take your 14 and look up on the cross-reference multiplication table. You can also just do 14 times 4 if you want to.
That's right. Be 56.
Correct. So what we then do is take the 56. So skill or primary chance 14, ease factor 4, the 56. I then go to the success quality table and I look at the category 51 to 60, and it shows me a line of successes you can get. The 56 lands them in this category that says a superb success, quality 1, is on a 1 to 6. A 7 to 12 gives a great success, quality 2. An 11 to 30 gives a good success, which is quality 3. And then an acceptable success would be 31 to your success chance, which is 56, right? So 31 to 56 means quality rating 4. Quality rating 4 generally means you did it, but so let me give you an example here. If you get quality rating 4, he is going to have a chance to see you, even though you sneak up relatively close. If you get quality rating 1, 2, or 3, he does not see you coming. If you get quality rating 4, he will have a chance to see you coming. He has to make a perception check. If you fail, he absolutely sees you coming and you don't close the distance the way you want to. Does that make sense?
It does.
All right. Roll those bones. Roll as low as you can.
I rolled a 74, sir.
All right. That's a failure. You start with 6 hero points. I'm not pressuring you to spend them, but this is where 1 for 1, you can change a quality success level by spending a hero point. So you could go from failure to quality 4 to quality 3 to quality 2 and on and on and on. It's the first scene, the first roll of the game, so you may or may not want to do that.
I'm gonna probably eat this one.
Okay. So it's, you bust through the crowd, probably knock a couple of people down, and he's looking over his shoulder at that, and he's like, whoa, he sees you coming. There's a moment where the camera zooms in on his eyes, zooms in on your eyes, narrowing. He hops on a tuk-tuk. You know what a tuk-tuk is, right? Like a motorcycle moped front end and like a cart on the back. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yep. So popular in Egypt at the time. I think they're trying to get rid of them right now. I'm just doing some research for the game here. It looks like Egypt's trying to get rid of their tuk-tuks. But by the time you break free of the crowd, he is already like motoring away. And I'm using your quality result to tell me how far away he is by the time this chase starts. So we're about to invoke the chase mechanics, right? So chases in the ranges in the chase are close, medium, long, distant, and extreme. Extreme is like you can barely just still see them, right? And if you ever get beyond extreme, they get away. That is where the chase ends. And there's various ways to end the chase in addition to just losing sight of them as well. You could wreck, you can catch up to them. There's all sorts of things you can do. Bottom line is, you've got to figure out how you're going to chase him because he's on this tuk-tuk pulling away as you run up to this stand of motorized vehicles. I will tell you, there's bicycles, there's mopeds, there's probably an old bike or two. You could also spend a hero point if you wanted to. Sean, this was what Sean was planning. So I'll turn it over to him for a minute.
Yeah.
Go on, Sean.
So I look around and I assess what I'm looking around to grab something to hop onto. And I see that there is this messenger with like a 125cc motorcycle, actually, with like a box on the back of it that he probably puts his parcels in. And as he comes to a halt and is getting off the motorcycle and has the box open, grabbing the parcel out. And I am going to spend a hero point for this to happen. And I'm going to, as he's taking out the parcel, I'm going to hop on the motorcycle, not even hit the kickstand, just kick it,
take off.
Yes. Hit the kickstart and drive off.
Got it. To much of the chagrin and the screaming of the guy with the parcel, like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Yes, exactly. And he like pulls out a chicken out of the back, and he's holding this chicken, and he's like, "Ah!" And the chicken feathers are all over the place.
Yes, exactly. So the crowds sort of part, and as they part before this motorcycle that you've got, the throttle wide open on, you're tearing off down the road, trying to catch up to him. Far ahead on the street, you see the tuk-tuk going as well. So as our chase begins, I think it's 7 or 8 step process, right? 8 step. Determine the range. We've done that. It is distant. The bidding begins. The bidding always starts at ease factor 7, and the players are the ones who then bid from there. And for those who don't know the game, what we're doing is we're establishing the difficulty for this round of the chase. So in other words, if you're willing to go like full out and take every risk and just drive like a maniac, you can go with a very low ease factor. What has to happen is each of you will be going against the same ease factor. So you're basically making the chase harder by lowering the ease factor, right? So we start at 7, and then we bid back and forth. I'll go as low as I feel like the guy who's trying to get away, how Dario will go, and you bid as low as you are comfortable with as well. I will tell you, things like the red line on the vehicles matter. Your bike has a red line of 3. His tuk-tuk is probably higher than that. So you can probably afford to go lower on the bike without making what's called like a safety check. So in other words, if you're in a vehicle that doesn't handle very well, but you've decided to, the chase is really intense, you're either going to back off and let them get away, or you're going to push it and potentially wipe out or damage the vehicle type of thing. All right. What with the opening ease factor at 7? What is your first bid?
I'm going to bid 4.
Goes right to 4.
Right to 4.
Dario will not bid lower than that.
Okay. And I'm holding, like, every time my hat, like I've got my hat scrunched on so I don't lose my hat. So every once in a while I let go of the handlebar, scrunch my hat down, and tie is flapping in the wind.
Okay, so at distant range, ease factor is 4 for our chase. Let me write that down. What it really means is, as you pick your maneuvers, that is the difficulty that you guys will both be rolling against. And there's all kinds of things we could do around, like, is there a crowd, is it raining, etc., to mess with the ease factor. I'm going to keep it simple and say people are giving you some room, so you're just trying to tear off down the road.
Honking my horn. Meep, 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 meep. Meep, meep.
Love it.
Meep, meep.
And in the back, you see that there's in fact still one chicken in that basket. So there's feathers coming out the back as you're flying down the road. All right. After the winning bidder does their thing. Oh, I know what it is. You announce whether you want him to go first or do you want to go first?
Oh, he's going to go first.
Okay.
In James Bond, it is my understanding that having in a chase, you defer to the person that's in the lead so that you can react appropriately.
That absolutely does work. There are situations where if you're close, let's say the distance was close and you wanted to ram them, for example, you might want to go now as opposed to waiting, because they may choose, as he's going to actually on his turn, he's going to choose a maneuver. He's going to choose flee, right? So if he flees right now, he's going to potentially be even further away from you if he's successful by the time you get to take your action, right? That sort of thing. And just I'll get you informed here. I think you know this already, but the maneuvers you're about to choose from, every turn we do this, are pursue/flee. So you're pursuing, he's fleeing, right? You can force, which is basically trying to like ram them off the road or damage the vehicle. You can do a quick turn, which I think we described during the show that we talked about this. That would be him like darting down an alley without you seeing it, kind of thing. And he has to be of a certain distance away to even try that. If he's going to try a quick turn, which he's not going to do this turn right now, but if you're going to try that, you have to be either at long, distant, or extreme. You have to be pretty far away to be able to duck in somewhere and not be seen, right? You can also try double back, which is the whole like 180 thing, and then go back the way they're coming to kind of, screw them up. And you basically do a head on, kind of come past them quickly. And then trick would be virtually everything else, which is, go up a set of stairs on the tuk-tuk or find a narrow alley that the vehicle behind you can't fit in, that sort of thing, right? All of these things have different safety ease factors, which means if you screw up while doing the move, you might wipe out, and each maneuver has a different level of damage it could potentially do to the vehicle. So in other words, some of them are more dangerous than others. It's a long way of saying that. He's going to flee. If he messes up with his ease factor 4, which is what you set the difficulty at, he will have to make a safety ease factor 6, which is tied to the maneuver. So fleeing or pursuing, if you screw up, or if you drive beyond the red line, which he is doing. So the fact that he's going to try to go as fast as risky as ease factor 4, he's going to make one of these checks anyway. He may have to make 2 of them if he also blows the flee roll. So I'll pick up my dice. And let me look at his skills. So he's trying to get away from you. He rolls a 55, which is a failure. So he fails to pursue. And what that means is the distance does not change. If you're successful with a flee, the distance can go up, right? So he could have gone right now to extreme, and then extreme +1, +2, +3 if he made a great roll. And then it would have, on your turn, you would have had to reel that back into at least extreme, or otherwise you'd lose him, right? So he fails, which means he needs to make two safety rolls. Let's see what I can do here. So those are factor 6. The first one, 30 is a pass. He passes the one that's from the ease factor, but he's also redlining the vehicle. He's like got the throttle slammed wide open. He's taking a corner. That's a 97. Let's find out what this does here. If you want to follow along at all, Sean, if you look at the mishap damage chart on page 61, it will show you that for the pursue or flee maneuver, I look at the ease factor, which is a 4, and it tells me that when you fail that safety check, you get medium damage to the vehicle. You are, clearly coming straight after this guy. He looks over his shoulder. He sees you coming. He goes wide open. He tries to do a big intersection with a big fountain in the middle, right? He's trying to do, go around it, kind of swinging the back end of the tuk-tuk out, doing a little bit of drifting almost, kind of going around the corner, trying to basically make a hard left-hand turn and lose you by going as fast as he can. He goes too wide. He slams into a couple of vendors who are selling, spiced meats and all sorts of vegetables and things. That stuff goes flying. His tuk-tuk rocks back and forth. He barely gets it back on the road and keeps going. But he's taking some damage himself. So you should know that when you take damage in a vehicle, you take 1 level less if you're an occupant. So he's just taken light damage as well, which will affect his rolls, by the way, going forward. All that said and done, he's tried to lose you by just speeding away and going through this intersection. He hasn't done it. If he had another occupant in step 6, they would be firing at you right now. So basically, you choose a maneuver, you execute the maneuver, and then whoever's on board can also do a fire combat. The last two phases of the chase round are the second side doing all the same stuff. So you have to choose a maneuver right now. You are at distant range. He's tried to just speed away, and he was not successful.
I am going to close, so I will pursue.
Okay, which is a relatively straightforward one. You're just trying to catch up, right?
Yep.
All right, ease factor 4. You're going to look at your driving.
So I have a 15 drive.
You're also going to look at your motorbike and look at its performance. There is a modifier based on the vehicle. It's a 0. So what did you say your drive was? Sorry.
15.
So 15 times 4, 60, right? So you're rolling. And the way to think about this, if you're below 100, generally 60 is the top end of what you want to roll. So if you roll close to 60, you're going to get a quality 4 result, right? You want better results to try and catch up as fast as you can, obviously, because there's always a risk they'll get away or whatever, right? But at a distant range, you open the throttle, roll your percentile dice.
34.
34. So looking at our chart, you hit a 60. A 34 is a quality. It's 31 to 60 would be quality 4. So that's not the best, but it's not bad. Let me tell you how many steps you will change it. You will take the distance by rolling that. You'll take the distance from distant to long. If you spend a hero point, you can start to chunk the distance shorter and shorter. I'm not saying you should do that, but that's how it would work, right?
I'll spend a hero point to close it one more.
Okay, so the distance is going to be medium. That means he can no longer use the quick turn to try and get away, because you've cut half the distance essentially. You cut way down, and from medium, it's only close from there. And at close range, you can do all kinds of other things, right? But I will also tell you, as you get closer and closer, you can see his tuk-tuk is already smoking. It's rattling. It's not going as fast as it was before. The medium damage did quite a number on it. All right. The game is not very explicit about whether or not the driver can also fire. I'm going to say if in this case you can't, you got both hands on the handlebars, you're trying to go as fast as you can. If you had another person on the back, they would be able to shoot right now. But as it stands, we end the first round of chase and we go to the second round, which is back to the bidding process, which starts again at 7. You can see the whites of his eyes now as you turn around looking at you, trying to get away, trying to gun this engine, but the tuk-tuk just doesn't have it in it compared to your little bike.
I'm gonna go with 4 again.
Ease factor 4 again. Okay, and who's going to go first?
I think I'm gonna go first this time.
Okay.
I will close the distance because I don't think I can do what I want to do from this length, right? We're still at long distance.
You are at medium. You're at medium distance.
Still the same.
You need to go one more to get close, which would allow you to either try to, grab the tuk-tuk or jump onto it or turn his handlebars by reaching over or, all those close combat kind of stuff. You need to be at close range.
Okay. I'm going to close. I'll do pursue again.
Okay. All right. So that is relatively simple. Just look at your driving. Your performance rating of your bike is still 0. You're not injured or anything, and you have an ease factor of 4, so you're rolling against a 60 again. And as long as you get a quality 4 result, you're going to catch up.
71.
Hey, how about that?
Dude,
That's a fail. That's a fail. So I think, let me see what that means here. Yep. Okay, so that ease factor, let's put it this way. You open the throttle, right? But as you do, here comes a guy with a donkey right out in front of you, like, ah! You've got to slam the brakes on, and this is your safety check to see if you either wipe out or damage the bike or hurt yourself. Safety ease factor for failing pursue and flee is 6. So 6 times your, what was it?
Drive, 15.
Was 15. You're at 90. Indeed. So it's pretty tough for you to fail this.
Can't keep my dice on my desk.
I hear that.
84.
Whoa!
Jeez.
Describe. Let's use some modern DNA. Describe just missing this donkey.
Like I get on the side of the motorcycle, so the handlebars just clear the donkey's chin.
I'll buy that.
Okay.
A little brushes his whiskers.
Yeah. Maybe it's like I'm on just my ground is just a little bit lower than where he's standing.
Yep. Got it. All right. You just barely avoid the donkey by leaning off to the side, tear on past him, but you haven't made up any ground. As you get back up on the bike, you see that the Tuk-tuk is still well ahead at medium range. The Tuk-tuk is going to try. He's going to try a trick. He's desperate. You see the vehicle turn. Several people have to jump out of the way, and he darts into an alley. You bring the bike around behind him. He's going to go down a set of stairs. Like, dude's going for it. So, ease factor 4 for his trick. So what the trick means is you have to match it, right? To stay with him, kind of thing. So it's a quick way to end a chase is if you can perform a crazy trick and someone else can't. It's the whole like car runs into the pylon, car roll, Blues Brothers, car does a roll down the hill, all that kind of stuff, right? All right, so he's going to pick up the dice and he is going to roll. It's a 4, right?
Does he have a maneuver? Does he have a vehicle?
He's actually down to a 2.
Okay.
So the Tuk-tuk, let's just be transparent here. The Tuk-tuk has like a performance of -1. So it's not very maneuverable anyway. It has this bad red line. So in other words, ease factor 4 is hurting it anyway. And it has the medium damage, right? So let's just say he failed. It's all I will tell you. Trick is one of the worst things to fail at. So the fact that he failed, that's right. He has to roll a safety check. And the safety check for a trick is a 3. So it's a low ease factor. So if you fail doing a trick, it's dangerous. And it will do a lot of potential damage. He rolls a 27, which is pretty good, but it's still not enough. He would have needed like an 18. So trick failing at ease factor 4 is heavy damage. And in this game, since there's no hit points, there are just wound levels for vehicles and for people. You have to cross-reference the wound level when you have medium and you get heavy. So I have a chart, and I will look up the cross-reference on that. Wound accumulation chart. So if you have a medium and you get a heavy, it ends up incapacitated. He also will he has a light, and he's going to take what did I say? It was a heavy. He'll take a medium. He's going to end up heavily wounded. So he's going to be, let's just cut to the chase here. End over end, the Tuk-tuk goes down the stairs. Like he's going too fast. So the rear end of it, the front wheel plunges down, the rear end goes up over his head. So you watch as this thing just crash, rolling and parts coming off it. It's just a pile of junk at the bottom of the stairs by the time it's done. He's heavily wounded. The machine is no longer working, and he's laying there like groaning. It doesn't really say if you have to make the check or not, but I'm gonna say that you do because you went into the alley, right? Let's see if you can do it.
I guess I would pursue. That would be, or I would.
Well,
yeah.
It's something that, tell you what, we can do a little bit of research on later. Like I think. Let me look up trick. Let's look this up.
I think if he succeeded, I would have to, but I don't know if he's crashed. I would let up off the throttle and I would literally just drive up like putt, 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 and then just stop, get off my bike.
I'm not seeing where it says. Let me keep going here.
It says if the trick maneuver succeeds, the other side must perform the same maneuver at probably with the same.
You just put your finger on it if it succeeds.
Yeah,
I'm with you. Yep. All right. So So again, I don't want to do all the talking here. You describe how you arrive, whether how you get up to this pile of wreckage and this poor Dario on the ground.
So the smoke it's a carnage, right? This thing is in like pieces flying all over the place, and the scene kind of focuses on the guy Juan Dario as he's laying down on the ground, and you just hear this. You just hear this, and then it turns off, You see the two tires come into the scene that are near like his upper torso. And then a foot hits the ground, the kickstand hits the ground, and you can see the shoes of Vincent Drake. And he pulls off his hat, sets it back on so it's not like down around his ears right now. He just kind of fixes it and brushes himself off. He says, Juan Dario, we have to talk.
All right. I think we'll do scene right there. And this is the sort of thing where we can do to lead you to the castle location, to the location of this casino that you're looking for, right? The La Reina Roja. Why don't we do an interrogation roll to see if he will tell you? I think he's going to be pretty open about this because he's hurt. Let me see. Oh, you know what? The first thing we should do is you've already told him who you are. I'm gonna make a fame roll to see if this guy recognizes who you are now that he gets a good look at you.
Well, I haven't told him who I am.
You didn't? Okay,
No,
good.
I just simply said we have to talk.
Oh, you did. You did. That's right. Let me do this. Go to fame.
So he may recognize who I am after the fact. But
so you have 130. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I do this search secretly because you may not know if he recognizes you.
So just for general reference, James Bond, as statted out in the actual rulebook, has 148 fame points. So I have 130, just to give people kind of what that looks like.
He got a quality rating 3, and at your level of fame, it means question mark. Maybe the character attempting the recognition thinks he recollects the other character, who may then attempt to persuade, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So in other words, you're familiar to him. He doesn't know who you are, but he's like, I don't know who this guy is. You can then persuade them that they're mistaken if it were to matter. It's not going to matter in our situation here. What I want you to do, I would like you to make an interrogation roll so you can try to get the information out of him.
So what if I don't have any points in interrogation?
How about that? Well, we're going to find out, won't we? You need to get special information. Oh, you know what? You can persuade him too. Okay. So persuasion uses charisma, right? You know what? Let's do two things here. I'm going to say he is antagonistic to you to start. And if you want to just be persuasive, and feel free to describe it. We don't have to cut the scene. You know, let's do this. We're now in like a little Egyptian hovel, a bar, and you've got him in there. He's all bloody. He's in the corner. You know, he's got a napkin or a rag on his face from the blood. And you're sitting across from him, probably have a drink in hand, and you are trying to get him to tell you where the location of this place is. So feel free to role play a little bit, but I want some sort of persuasion attempt, which is your charisma skill.
And so
sorry to interrupt you. I wanted to know how this worked. He has an initial reaction to you, right? So it's kind of like the old D&Ds where you can roll 2d6 and get a reaction roll. His reaction roll is starting off antagonistic. So that will modify the ease factor at your persuasion attempt, which is kind of cool. It's actually a -3. Hello. All right, so let's take this a little slowly here. So you have a charisma skill, right? Yes. You're about to roll that. The regular ease factor is 5 for convincing someone of something or persuading them to do something. But he is antagonistic to you, so we're lowering that from 5 down to 2.
Ooh.
So he is sitting there like, I'm not telling you anything. I don't know who you are. And there's a glint in his eyes that something about you is recognizable to him. But you don't know who I work for. I'm not telling you anything. Not a thing. What does Drake do? What does he say? And what's the result of his roll?
I wave over. I do one of these. I put my 2 fingers in the air like I'm waving over a server, where they come over and put a bottle on the table. And I like hold up 2 fingers. 2 shot glasses are put down.
2 glasses. Yeah. Clink, clink.
Yep. And I tip them over. You can hear the glass hit the solid wood. put one in front of him and put one in front of myself. And then I grab the bottle and pour a couple fingers high into a solid tumbler. Yeah. And I say, Mr. Dario, I do not need to know who you are or who you work for. I just need to know the location of Reina Roja. Surely you could provide that to me. I say, here, take a drink.
He reaches out to take one, lifts it up to you in a cheers, shoots it back. +1 ease factor. You now have an ease factor of 3 instead of 2.
Excellent. And I said, now, that little stunt out in the bazaar was very unfortunate. I just wanted to ask you this simple question. I drink one myself, and then I pour more for him and more for myself.
I did not know who you were. This is a very dangerous town right now.
Of course, I understand. But, between you and I, this word will not get out. I will not divulge you as giving me the location. And besides, I could probably find this out from other people. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Dario? I drink mine down and put it down on the table again.
He drinks his and slams it down, shoves it forward to you again. He says, I don't know, I will have to jog my memory.
Of course.
I want you to make your roll now.
Okay.
So ease factor 3 with charisma. This is, by the way, is what Connolly was talking about with premature narration, where you go too far and you make a super persuasive argument. And of course he would tell you, and then you make a roll and you shit the bed with the roll. Right. So let's not get too far. You've plied him with liquor. You've opened him up a little bit. So you take, what is your charisma score?
14.
So 14 times 3, right?
Right.
So you're looking at a 42.
Yep.
So as you can tell, you start to do the math on these, like you'd have a relatively low chance of success here, right? But you do have your hero points in reserve.
Which I will spend.
Yep. All right. Make your roll.
Okay. God blast it all. 64.
64. All right. That's a failure. You need at least a quality 4 success for him to tell you.
That was with that was the spend with the hero point?
Right now, the roll is a failure.
Okay.
If you spend a hero point, you'll bring this failure to a quality 4 success.
That's what I do.
He will tell you.
That's what I do.
Yep. So you spend 1 hero point.
Yeah.
Yep. And he won't, like, if you can imagine, there's actually a whole thing in James Bond about how the information gets more accurate and there's more of it as you get better results on these types of rolls. So he's basically like, it's in the coast of Spain, close to Madrid. On the coast of, and he goes into some, explanation of exactly where you can find it. But then he's like, has a third drink, slams it down, and says, I can say no more. And I must leave. There are people in this town looking for me that do not have such nice suits as you, sir.
Very well.
I want you to let him go.
I let him go.
All right. He limps out, quite injured. But you now have the lead you need to go to the vaunted mysterious casino that's like invite only kind of thing, right? So anything else you want to do in this scene?
No. Actually, I will. I wave the server over, and I'm sure it's a nice looking female, of course, in the James
Bond
movie,
world. Man.
Yeah. And I said, what's your name?
My name is Ada.
Ada.
How can I help you?
Would you like to join me, Ada? And I flip over the glass that he had that I tipped over before as he left. And please, you look busy. I know you're busy, but please join me. I am new here.
Are we going to explore the seduction mechanics here? Is that what we're going to do?
We could do fade to black, or we can do seduction. That's up to you.
I'll tell you what. There may be more seduction in your future.
Sure.
So we'll just do. She looks over at the bartender and sees that he's busy with other people as he's serving them, and then she looks back at Drake and then just smiles as she sits down, and then we'll do a wipe.
There we go. Fair enough.
Yep. This is just me doing this. Normally, you would refresh hero points when you got a quality 1 success out of combat. So they're relatively few and far between, but it is neat that there's a mechanical way to refresh them. But you can also do it, like I'm going to do it right now between scenes. I'm going to give you 1 back. So +1 hero point as you go to the next scene. The game's pretty stingy about it. It actually says give them a hero point when they complete a mission, right? And you're kind of on a wider mission here. And you know what? Let me broaden their perspective here. Here's your overall objective, and this is where this next scene might be the last one that we play, or there might be a third one beyond that. But your overall objective here is to get eyes on this El Scorpion Blanco guy, this assassin, and you have a cufflink that has a camera in it. You're supposed to get his picture. It's the whole deal. And this would have been in the briefing prior. The Reina Roja is one of his favorite places to gamble, right? And let's say this time of year he's known to frequent the area, which is why you're on his trail. There is meant to be a private gambling room that he's going to be in. So when you get to the casino, you're going to have to find a way in. Like, this is like invite only. So you got to figure out how you're going to get in. And then you have to figure out, how am I going to get access to this private area where he probably is going to be? Then you're supposed to get his picture. And that's the overall objective. If it goes beyond that, we'll see. But as the scene opens, picture it's night on the coast of Spain. The Atlantic Ocean is crashing. There's this old castle, a citadel up on a hill, on a cliff overlooking. And you can picture what it looks like, but it's all lit up with this, narrow air, little, what used to be little slit type windows, and there's stained glass in various places. It's a gorgeous place on the inside. It's clearly like medieval or Renaissance in age. And inside, as the camera swings in there briefly, we see indeed it is a full-on casino with all sorts of ne'er-do-wells, but they are all dressed to the nines. Like, this is the high society of the criminal underworld that you have found. So how does our agent plan on infiltrating this casino?
So I cannot get in the casino at all. It's not like, well, the casino's open and I can get in. The getting into the back room is the difficult part.
Because the whole place is the casino, hotel, resort, whatever. What do you want to? It's got pools, and it has guest rooms, and it has gardens. Right? It's a place to go to kind of for these elite criminals to kind of get away. Right? And they're not necessarily all like megalomaniacs or anything, but it's definitely an invite only exclusive club. That it's not that you can't walk up to the front gate, knock, and say I'd like to play at the casino kind of thing.
Got it.
It's an invite only. There's a single road that goes up the mountain, up the cliff to the castle at the top, basically. Now, having said that, there are always deliveries. There are you have disguise. You can try to bluff your way through. You can try to sneak in. Are the three things that occur to me, but there may be others as well, right?
Going to disguise myself, or yes, I'm going to disguise myself so I am not recognized. And I'm going to attempt to be one of the staff, one of a server, a kitchen, probably a server, champagne, distributor of champagne throughout the ballrooms, what have you.
Got it.
So that could could involve like me finding out who the server is and showing up and going through a server side door, or envisioning, I would say either that, or, it cuts to me having bonked a server that works for a caterer over the head and obtaining his credentials, if you will.
Yep. All right. So there are a couple of things that may go into this. So one of which is going to be the quality of your disguise, right? Takes a couple of hours to put that on. I'm just kind of scanning through the disguise listing here.
I would say it's probably not even that crazy. Just like a simple mustache and beard or something like that.
No, I get it. Yeah. But it also might be the outfit. It might be the server. Like, yes, you're wearing not tails, but you're in, white shirt, black pants, bow tie, right? That kind of thing. Here we go. Impersonating a specific, complex, no. Impersonating a generic type, such as an airport security guard or vendor. This is cool. All right, so you're going to make a disguise rating, and let me say this: don't make it yet, but if your objective is to like basically drive up there, and find the servant's entrance. Like, if you go to the front, they'll be like, "You're late. Go around back." That kind of thing, right? But when you get there, like, will the servers recognize you and be like, "Who the F are you?" Right? So the way that's done is you're going to make a quality roll, a roll to get a quality result from your disguise skill, and the ease factor for them recognizing you with perception is the 1 through 4 quality result. So it's pretty hard if you are successful. If you fail, they have a ease factor 10 on their perception. So it's quite easy for them to say who is this guy in the pizza outfit, in the pizza delivery outfit when it's a black tie cocktail party, that kind of thing. All right. Is that what your approach is? I do want to give you one more piece of information before you make that final decision, but is that what you're thinking for now?
Yeah.
Okay. So the other thing you should know, I should have given this information before. The whole place is run by Contessa Lucia Marin. So she's a Spanish noble and basically her property, right? If anyone could get you invited to a private blackjack game, which is what this is, it's the Contessa. I mean, there's other ways you might be able to sneak in, but she runs the joint, right? So if you can find some way of influencing her or otherwise, she could probably get you access to that. I will also tell you this. We're going to do an extended timeline here. The blackjack game is tomorrow night. So tonight is you like casing the place, making, trying to get access, etc. Right. So, and maybe the guy you're looking for, maybe the Scorpion is here, but what you know is that he's supposed to be at the game tomorrow night. That's what you know. All right. Having said all that, any change to your plans?
I think the goal, so my objective is to try to get in the place relatively discreetly. So if it is literally walking it through a service door, great. I would imagine that I would try to somehow either acquire a similar attire through that process, like walking in, there's a closet, I grab a jacket and change, or I know what they would potentially look like and I show up in that type of uniform, walk through the service entrance as it like carrying some cases of champagne, right? And then
I'll tell you what,
once I get in, then my goal would be to put the cases of champagne down, continue walking out the swing doors. And as I do that, I'm taking off my coat and reversing it from white to black.
Yes. Let's do this. Is it persuasion that you have to do with the Q branch to get the cool shit?
Oh man, I don't know. I think so.
All right. So I'll say this. I'm shooting from the hip here. So
Sure.
Those who are purists for the game, forgive me. And my instincts are to just flow with this, right? You can spend a hero point and you can have done the research and you have an exact outfit. Like you look just like a server and you have the reversible coat. However, you can also just try to persuade, MI6 back home to send you the reversible jacket kind of thing,
Sure.
which the hero point will lower the ease factor a lot, right? The jacket will just let you flow into the kitchen or from the kitchen into the main ballroom without raising any eyebrows kind of thing. What do you want to do?
I'll do this. I'll spend a hero point. That's fine. It's pretty important to get in there because then I want to approach.
And once you're
Contessa,
once you are inside, I think the presumption is you're going to stay. You're going to do a James Bond. Like you're not going to have to sneak in again tomorrow night. You'll find a room. You'll find a woman. You'll find whatever, right? And then you'll just be around the.
Don't have to do it again.
Exactly. Okay. So having said that, you come up the mountain. You're probably arriving by some sort of motor car, a taxi, right? Drop you off at a side entrance, and I think there's a couple of heavies at the front door. You can see they just kind of sort of look at you, and they're kind of like they raise their hands and they're like, "Get in there!" Like you're late, kind of thing, right? But as you get up to that service entrance, that door is closed. It's going to require like knocking or something, or maybe there's a key that you're supposed to have, but you don't have that.
So how far are the two thugs away? Are they right there, or are they?
So before we do that, let's say as well, you said you had a hero point spent, so you're in like the exact garb, right? Like you have the right kind of pants, right kind of shirt, right kind of jacket,
Correct.
all that good stuff. I don't know. Does this game have a fortune thing? It does not. I
And
don't
if they're
think.
yelling at me, I start patting my pockets and I go, "Uh-oh." Look kind of panicked.
I'm going to say they're in sight, but they're not close.
Okay. I go back to them and I try patting around. I don't know. They're probably Spanish, I'm guessing.
Sure.
I mean, nationality wise, and I tap and say, no badge. I need badge. Can you let me in?
You know what? This is Persuasion.
And I'm like,
So
I look frantic, like tap my watch. I'm late.
I am going to tell you that they look at each other and they're like, one of them is like, beat it kind of thing. The other one's like, oh, hang on. They might wait. So there's they have a conversation in Spanish. You're not sure what they're saying because Bond wouldn't be either. Bond's like, whatever.
They always speak in English in Bond movies, though.
They do. You're right. So they're probably like, no, you're right. So they're probably like, well, you forgot your key. What do you mean?
Right.
Idiot.
Sorry. I'm in a hurry.
Looks like you're not going to get paid tonight is what it looks like. The other guy says, wait. You know what Contessa's like. She wants all the help she can get. So I want you to make a persuade roll.
Okay.
You know what? Let me do their roll your charisma to set their initial reaction. So in other words, before you try to persuade them of anything, there's a way to like get a reaction out of them. Like when you're walking up, what impression do you make? So I want you to do that with ease factor 5.
Okay.
Charisma is like 14.
Yeah.
It's a 70, right?
That is a 70. Yeah.
Yep. So roll your charisma to see what kind of reaction they have.
Come on, man. 28.
28. So look at the success quality table for 70. The 28 is a good. That is a quality 3. And what that means is they are neutral. Okay. So they're just watching you approach. Well, it could have been worse, man. Oh, wow. And actually, this game's kind of mean to the agents. Neutral means -1 to the ease factor. So when you're making your persuasion attempt with charisma, it's ease factor -1. So your ease factor goes from 5 down to 4 to actually persuade them to let you in.
Right. So.
Yep. You're patting yourself down, trying to explain yourself. This time you're going against what, a 56?
A 10.
10? That is a great success. I'll let you choose. One of them is like, follow me. He pulls a key out of his pocket. He's like, I will let you in. The other one is willing to open the door and just let you right here if you want.
That's fine. Perfect.
With that level of success.
Yes, yes. Yeah. Okay, great. Local customs. Like, thank you.
Guys like, those are Italian shoes. Don't get them wet on the lawn. Don't to same as to his friend. They're both like dressed to the nines.
Gotcha.
These are well-dressed security guards.
So
they open the big doors. There's a big grand foyer in there. There's all sorts of windows on the left, which are, by windows I mean like little arches where you can either do a coat check, where you can check a firearm, where you can do all sorts of stuff. We haven't talked about your firearm, and we should, by the way.
Walther PPK, baby.
Okay, and did you bring it?
I did. I will put it on my ankle.
Okay. So that's cool. So these two basically let you in, and you find yourself in this big grand, entrance where the first thing you're faced with is a big beautiful fountain, lots of art, and these sort of areas on the left hand side, which are for like coat check. If you have a bag you want to leave, like it's probably a place to get poker chips. There's all those sorts of tellers are there. But you also see two much bigger goons. These guys out front were like 6 feet tall. The guys inside are like 6'3". So they've upgraded. And these two, you can tell, are going to be patting people down as they come past the fountain. And beyond them, you can see that the stairs go down and into the casino floor. So you can already hear it. You see some of the lights going on. You see roulette tables spinning. You can see people, with their the little cane pulling the dice in. They're playing craps and all that kind of stuff, right? Lots of activity there. But what do? You have your servant's clothing on as you come through the front door.
I do. Is there any servants beyond this, or are they beyond the two goons? I would imagine.
No, there's some people going back and forth. In
Okay.
fact, let me randomize something here. There is a woman walking from the kitchen with a whole tray of like martinis on it.
Okay, I kind of intercept her and say, "Oh,
An incredibly sexy woman because it's a James Bond movie."
Well, this, Vincent Drake, all 5'2" of them, looks up at her and says,
"Yep,
I'll take that from you, please."
And she says,
No,
and she's thinking, do I know you? This is the moment when the staff, where she doesn't know if you are actually part of the staff or not. So you have to roll your disguise now.
Okay.
But remember, I'm going to give you a bonus because you've spent the hero point. You have the exact outfit.
Yeah.
So I'll do disguise, and we'll do ease factor 5 plus 2 for the great outfit. And we're going to give you an ease factor of 7. What is your disguise?
15.
15. So 15 times 7 is 105.
Yeah.
It's very difficult for you to fail.
Yeah.
00 would fail.
Right.
100.
73.
73 on the 101 to 110 chart is a quality 4 success. She looks at you for a minute and is just like, are you new?
C.
I
am.
Okay. You need to take these to the gentleman playing at the baccarat table immediately. And she hands you the tray, turns to go back, and she's got multiple orders in her head. And she's going to get another one as she hands you the tray of martinis.
Okay. I'm not going to push my luck. I will grab the tray and try to get through the goons.
Okay. What are we going to do for
So
that?
as I do that, I'm kind of wandering. I'm doing this circular kind of thing, and somebody comes by, I put it in front of them so they could just gracefully take a flute off of the tray. And then I kind of turn around and make my way. So as I turn, I kind of pivot around to go in between the two goons.
I don't think these goons, I'm going to roll their perception to see if they think anything's funky that you're just kind of blowing past them with the tray. And goons' perception is, just failed. They just let you walk on by like nothing is wrong. So off you go with the glasses.
I nod at them as I pass through.
They give you a nod as well.
Okay, head towards the baccarat table.
All right. So as you walk into this much more open room, you can picture like super high ceilings, almost like a cathedral in here. And there must be 50 places to gamble. There's no one-armed bandits or anything like that. This is European style gambling. So this is not slot machines. This is craps and baccarat and poker and all kinds of different games. Lots of roulette wheels, and high up on a balcony that surrounds the entire area. Lots of people going back and forth. You can tell this is where the private rooms are, probably is up on that second level, right? A couple of guards up the base of the stairs. But you also see this very elegant woman, hair piled high. She's a brunette, fantastic figure. There's a beauty mark on her cheek. And she's just surveying the place like she owns it, because in fact, as she does. It's the Contessa. So you put eyes on her, and you go to the baccarat table, and lots of all those guys are taking their drinks and whatnot.
I'm not even looking at them as they take their drinks. I'm looking at her and holding the tray.
Are we doing the look?
I am across the room, of course.
Okay. So we'll go to our seduction rules. I was hoping we would get to this. The look, the opening line, the witty conversation. All right. So you tell me. This is where we can make this a little more mechanical than we might otherwise role play the whole thing, right? Over the course of an evening, you can seduce someone, right? It's what it generally says. You can also take a lot longer than that, but it's hard to do it much for obvious reasons in much shorter time than that. So we can make a series of decreasing ease factor. These are seduction rolls, right? Yeah. However, a couple of things about her, including that not only is she the owner of the place, she also is a sucker for a pretty face. Like, she likes the good-looking men a lot.
And I mean, what's not good-looking about?
And are you striking? Is that what it is?
I am striking.
Yeah. Okay.
In my appearance, for those of you.
That's going to give you a +2 ease factor. And
I'm also in disguise, so I don't know how that affects.
she also has a weakness for members of the opposite sex, which is another +2. Let's look at this. Let's see if we can we'll see where we go from here. But let's start with the look. Let's see if these two make eye contact across the casino. You know what? Before we do that, are you just still dressed as a servant as you do this?
I am.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna take 2 off the ease factor for that.
Oh,
you're dressed as the helpman.
I know, but I was gonna make my way over to her with my platter. I would and lay on some lines, but that's all right. That's what I still do that.
That's the next one. That's the opening line.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So for the look, I mean, Sean, the look is ease factor 10.
Okay.
And you're already at 14, which is higher than it goes. It only goes to 10. It comes back down 2 levels because she's like, who's this man I hired? Who's the hired help? He's very attractive.
Yes.
So you have ease factor 10 and your seduction skill is what?
19.
19?
Yeah.
Oh my.
I put a few points into seduction if you can't.
So
imagine.
On the 181 to 190 success quality line, roll your percentile dice. And
At 59.
59 is a good quality 3 success. So the second, one up from the bottom, basically, it's a solid success. So her eyebrow is up, and she, I think there's someone else that she's talking to, and that dude's just droning on and on and on. Her whole world tunes out as the two of you make eye contact across the floor.
And then as that happens, somebody goes to grab one of the flutes off the tray as I walk away.
The last one?
Yeah, the last one. And I actually, since it is the last one, I grab it off the tray and set the tray down on like a standing, like one of the folding tray, like when you have trays that are around, right? I just set that down and I walk forward towards her with champagne glass in my hand.
So you have a grand staircase you have to climb to get there.
In addition, as I'm making my way through the casino floor, not leaving, eye contact, as I see somebody walk by me with another tray of champagne, I grab one off of that so that I am now carrying two. One I'm sipping and one I will obviously give to her.
Okay. So, which leads us to the opening line.
Yes.
All right. So all of you, what you describe is awesome. And it happens very smoothly as you go up the stairs. You get the 2 glasses. And she's kept her eye on you most of the time. Like she's pretending that, she's turned away after you got busy with other things. And but she's kept an eye on your movements. Are you doing anything different with your jacket as you're coming up the stairs, or are you still dressed as a servant as you approach her?
I would imagine that at some point, if she turns away, that's the timing where when she picks me back up again, if she like wonders where did he go, right? He's removed from my view. Where did he go? That stunning server, 5'2" server with beard and mustache. That's odd with the salt and pepper hair. And then I come, it's probably like at the bottom of the stairs, right? It's not, she can't see past like a certain.
Yeah. She doesn't have the view.
And then as I get up halfway, that's where she can start seeing the stairs. And now I'm wearing a black jacket and still carrying the 2 flutes of champagne.
The reversible jacket.
Yes.
In that same flurry, does the mustache and beard come off, or are they staying on?
I'm going to keep them on.
Okay. Got it. Yeah. By the time you get to the top of that grand staircase, you have your much nicer jacket on the reverse side out. You have these 2 glasses, and she's actually scanning the room, and you can tell she's looking for someone. And then, out of the corner of her eye, she sees you standing at the top of the stairs and looks in her eyes narrow, like, is this him? I thought he was maybe I was mistaken as to what I saw before. But what is your opening line as you approach and make your ease factor? It's still ease factor 10 because of your various modifiers for the opening line.
I hear the dice are in the roller's favor this evening.
Roll your dice, man. 19 times 10. You're on the 190 to 200 or excuse me, 181 to 190.
78. Man, I am just rolling way too high.
You are, but there's still a quality 3 success because your band is so high, right?
Yeah.
So a solid success, and she smiles and she says, and where did you hear that? And then so begins the witty conversation where you stand together and make small talk and lots of innuendos, I'm sure.
Of course.
This would normally be ease factor 8. It's still ease factor 10 because you have these modifiers that she likes a pretty face. Or she has a weakness for, the opposing sex, and you're like super good looking, even with your big stuck on beard.
So odd. Just a stocky dude. Like, it baffles the mind.
Okay, so witty conversation. Go ahead and roll that. I mean, if you want to break this off, you let me know. Otherwise, we'll see this through to conclusion, and you can see if you can get access to this poker room. Right?
Yeah, access and probably a room for the evening. Actually,
indeed.
Yes, and maybe her room. Indeed. I don't know. That would be probably the key. Like, if I could, I don't know.
Yep. Okay, so this is again. It's going to be ease factor 10 for a while.
Okay.
Because you have such bonuses and whatnot. Okay.
Really trying to break this open here. This a low roll. 61.
And you're in the 171 to 180 range, right? Oh no, 190 is what you said.
190.
71 is still quality factor or quality result 3.
61.
And I will also tell you, I know what that's for. All right, let's do a little bit of a 61 is still Q3.
I will lower it. Can I use this hero point?
You can, but before you do that, let me tell you why this matters. I'm remembering now. And again, like I said at the top of the hour of the show here, there'll be things we don't get fully right because there's a lot of nuance. Your quality results are if when the NPC decides to resist being seduced, they make a willpower roll against the quality result of your seduction. If it's used, just so you know, if it's used against the PC, you don't have to make a willpower roll. The PC can just decide whether the seduction works or not, basically. So it doesn't take your agency away. Yes. So if she were to choose to resist right now, each stage you're going to, they've all been 3s, I think, recently. She'd be going against an ease factor of 3. But the better you make it, but I will tell you, she's not resisting at this stage. Like you're just having conversation. She's that may change as things get more serious, but you've now had the eye contact established with the look. You've had the opening line. You've had some great witty conversation going on about how, what business has been like. I mean, you tell me, what's the witty conversation about when you talk with her?
I say that eventually, I explain that I am I work in import exports, and that I had heard that there was an elite game of Blackjack, and was wondering what it would take to get into that game. And if she knew.
Sipping her champagne, gorgeous, this woman is. She raises one eyebrow and says, and where did you hear such a thing? And you tell me, are we moving to beginning intimacies?
Yes.
So that's that. Now
wouldn't you like to know?
That's ease factor 5. So quite a bit harder, but you still have the +4. So you're at ease factor 9 now, right? And she is not resisting. So she's not going to make a will roll. So you have a 19.
Yes.
A 19 and a 9 is 171. So you're basically down 1 band.
Okay.
Roll those dice.
65.
Okay. Again, Q3, quality 3. I will say this, if you'll allow me. She's got heavies with her, right? She's got people that are kind of lingering in the background. And one of them steps forward to say something as the conversation kind of continues to flow. And she shushes him, puts her finger on his lips. As she pushes off at him, she drags you into like the back room, and you guys are getting after it. As she starts to reveal like the game's tomorrow night, I can make sure that you are there. There are important people for you to meet. As she's kissing your cheeks, yes. And you guys are fumbling around. And at this point, so you are.
How many players are involved? Do you know?
She's like a very.
What time does it start?
Less than while you're kissing, right?
Yes.
Less than half a dozen.
Right. Oh, excellent.
Including one that's very famous. but I cannot reveal who it is, kind of thing, right?
Secret. I love it. I said, oh, I'm now intrigued.
All right. So for where and when, she will resist. She doesn't want to take you right to her bed, dude. But if you roll with the high enough quality factor, that won't matter. All right. So the last step of your seduction is where and when. Ease factor 4 plus 4 is 8. 19 cross-reference with the multiplier of 8. This is why you have the chart, right?
Right.
152. So you're rolling. So you're still, you're going to get a quality factor 4 pretty easily, but you want those lower results so that her willpower will not resist.
Yeah, and I need a place to stay, so I really kind of have to have this in the bag. So I'm going to spend a hero point.
Okay. Oh well, you don't spend it yet.
Oh, okay.
Remember, it'll be after you make your roll.
Got it.
And then you can slide it up or down, and you can spend more than 1 hero point at a time. By the way.
Oh, that's true.
So if you wanted this to go all the way up,
be out of these in no time.
Yep.
God, man, I cannot roll below a 50. 68.
68 is a quality 3. So she's going to roll her willpower versus ease factor 3 to say you're very interesting. Well, let me make the roll, but she may say you're very interesting, but no, this is not happening.
In due time.
Indeed. However, let me check her willpower. Okay, 3. Oh. I think you get as far as it's late into the night now, right? I don't think you have anything else you want to accomplish other than getting access to the game.
That's
right?
it. Yeah.
So at some point you come out of that, the broom closet that you were in for beginning intimacies, or the little alcove that she has set aside for just such, escapades. And when you get to the point of am I going back to your room or not? You get all the way back to her room, but she then closes the door within an inch of you, and is not. I'm afraid not tonight.
Good things come to those that wait.
But she does. She says, "I have you looked after. You can stay down the hallway." So she's gotten you a room, but you have not gotten the Contessa between the sheets just yet.
Is it a joining room? Is it the communication door? Is
with the communicating door?
The communicating door. Yes.
It is. It is not. It is not. But great callback. Great callback. So didn't quite get all the way to home base, but you came pretty damn close.
I think Drake is pretty satisfied with where things have landed. He's got potential access to the game. He's garnered the trust of the Countess.
Yep.
Good.
Yep. Absolutely. Obviously, we would stretch out all these scenes more if we were playing a campaign or whatever, but we're trying to showcase the mechanics. So after spending the night in this, gorgeous, resort room and enjoying a great breakfast and whatnot, and I'm sure you spend the day, doing various things, maybe trying to see the Contessa and getting a line on who else is here and all that good stuff. Rolls around to the next night.
I would picture a montage of us driving through the Spanish countryside in a convertible sports car, kind of laughing it up a little bit. And as the sun sets, making our ways to our respected rooms to change for the evening.
Got it. Guess what? That's fine. But when someone succeeds at that will roll, character can make another try at it. The beginning seduction sequence starts again at the first stage.
Oh.
So it's kind of interesting. Well, regardless, I still think you're right. I think she's probably busy throughout the day, but you managed to steal some of her time. She shows you around a little bit. There's an afternoon ride through the countryside like you're describing, right? And you also do learn from her as you're thinking this, remembering this, as you climb the stairs to where the game is taking place tonight. It's a high stakes table. It's blackjack, and if you don't keep winning, you're rotated out. There's a waiting list for people to get into this room. So you have to play well to maintain your place. Is what's going on here. And sure enough, that night the door is opened up in front of you. Contessa Lucia is there. She's inside the room, and she grins at you as you come in, and you see a whole variety of, the criminal elite in Europe, all gathered around this one blackjack table, this one dealer, this tall man with like slick oiled black hair, looks like an Italian guy. He just raises one eyebrow at you and looks at you, and then glances at the one open seat and says, "Are you ready to play?"
Oh, of course.
What's your gambling skill, Sean? I hope it's
14.
good. Oh, it is pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty
good skills.
Yeah,
This agent can,
kind of know the James Bond deal.
So with gambling, there's basically, they model in this game, they model a bunch of different card games, including something I don't even know, like Chemin de Fer. I don't even know that card game. Baccarat or Baccarat, Blackjack, poker, roulette. They model a bunch of them. And for most of the card games, you roll twice. You do like an opening roll, and then if we were serious about the money side of it, you can actually make bets and whatnot, and you roll a second time. So you can make an opening bet. You can bet after the first hand, essentially, right? For blackjack, it's really going to be rolling on your gambling skill, and the quality results matter a lot, right? The 1 through 4 and the failure. So if you fail, you bust right away, right? So in other words, you took some extra card and for blackjack, and you're out already, kind of thing. And there's, in fact, if you get a fail on the first roll, there's no way to succeed. But what it does is it cross-references them. So if you roll a quality 4 the first time, but you roll a quality 1 the second time, you'll come up with a certain result. And the results are ranked 1 through 4, and you're really just trying to beat the house. So while you're rolling, I will also be rolling to see how the dealer does, right? To see if you can, and you can both if you both get 21, if you both get quality 1 results, it's a push. All the stakes go up, you bet again, and you keep going, kind of thing. So what I'm going to tell you is to be in the room. I should say this: you don't know what the Scorpion Scorpion Blanco looks like, but you don't think he's in here yet. And people are kind of coming and going. There's a variety of these are almost all men who are importers and exporters, who are businessmen, who are former military men, all drifting through this part of the sort of the underbelly of society, right? And you see people are like, when do you think he's going to be here? Do you think he's coming still? That kind of thing. So there's a buzz in the air about it. But I want you to win 2 of 3 blackjack hands to keep your seat at the table before El Scorpion Blanco arrives.
I'm sure when he arrives, he will have like big patch on his shirt with the scorpion on it.
That reckon, yes.
or on his cufflinks.
Yes, he will.
There'll be scorpions on his cufflinks.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. All right. So what is it's ease factor 5. 14 is your skill.
It is.
That's a 70. So can you beat? Oh boy.
Come on, I gotta get this turned around. An 11.
An 11.
Yeah.
Okay. And you were in the 70. That's a quality 2. So after the first cards come out on the table, you probably have, I'm not even going to try to narrate this into cards because it's too hard. Yep.
Flip.
Yep. But your quality 2 puts you in like it's a good set of cards, right? You got like an 18 or something, I don't know, or maybe you have an 11 showing, so you're like, yeah, hit me, kind of thing, right? So make the second roll. You have better cards showing than the dealer does right now. I'll tell you that. The second,
34.
You win the hand. So your quality result of 2 and then quality result of 3 technically give you you're like rank 2 is what you did. So, and the dealer got rank 3. So you collect a bunch of chips. Let's do this once more. If you can win once more, then you'll keep your seat at the table. And again, 2 rolls.
62.
So Q4 result for the dealer. You also got a Q4. So you have about the same card as you go into your draw here. Roll them again.
Both face cards, right? Both 10s.
Yep. something like that, or both, maybe both 9s because they were not the greatest. Oh my heavens! Okay,
63.
63. So you end up with like a 17, and the dealer busts. He failed. He got a 99.
Hey.
Yeah. All right. So
look around. All right.
yeah, there's a lot of like clapping, and you can picture the scene as the hours pass, smoke's in the air, and eventually the door does open, and 2 men enter. First man comes in, and you can tell he cases the room. He's bald. He has a milky eye and a scar that goes through the outside edge of his eye.
No top hat.
No, it's not top hat, nor is it odd job. But he clearly, like, if you look through his wallet, it would absolutely have a business card that said henchman. It absolutely would have that.
That's right.
He cases the joint, looks back and forth, and then steps to the side. This guy's like maybe 5'8", 5'10", wiry, looks way stronger than someone his size should be, like the kind of guy that you don't want to tussle with, kind of thing, right? Steps aside, and much taller behind him is a man with silver plumage. He has a big, his slick back hair, a silver and black goatee. He looks a bit like Christopher Lee from his later years. And indeed has a diamond pin on his tuxedo jacket that is a scorpion.
Ah, nice.
Indeed. So they come in and they are introduced as, you know what? Let's make it ridiculous. He's introduced as the Scorpion.
Ah.
As Scorpion Blanco. And the other guy's name is Navarro. And Navarro does not play. Navarro just kind of lingers in the background. Hands behind his back. He's watching everybody play, etc. So what is your game plan from here? Your objective is to get his picture somehow.
Right. I'm going to try to get him to the table, or I will either get him to a table that I am at, or I will try to sit down at a table that I don't know what he plays. So
there's only the one game in this room.
Oh, that's right. Blackjack.
It's just this one blackjack table in
Gotcha.
here, right? And it's meant to be like super high stakes and that kind of thing, right? So after 2 hands, you're probably up like 10,000 pounds or something, like British sterling.
Do I have the square chips? Can I have square chips?
Absolutely, you can.
Yes. Excellent.
Yes. Yeah, they're piled high. In fact, he's probably, got an eyebrow raised at your little hoard, right?
And so is there any open chair at my table?
There is.
So I say, please join us.
I see you're having a good night, he says as he sits down.
I said, even the moon shines on a saying I could come up with. Even the moon shines on a dog that sits down once a day. I don't know.
He looks confused.
I don't know. It sounded better in my head.
The henchman is thinking, I should kill him now.
Yes.
Oh dear. All right, I'm just gonna. I don't want to. Narrate every hand here.
Right.
So let's do a general one more roll of gambling to see whether you come out ahead or behind, kind of for the night. Right. We can do this one game at a time, but let's instead you play for a while.
Does he sit down?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If he sits down, I actually try to get him to win. I start throwing the game. Yeah, I'll see if I can kind of butter him up. I don't want him sour or pissed off, right?
Yeah, I mean it's blackjack, so that's hard. But
well, I mean,
you could give him advice and do all kinds of things. There's subtle ways you can influence it.
Right.
So let's say this: if you can succeed at this is another mechanic we haven't really explored yet. If you can get a quality 3 result on a gambling roll, I will say his ease factor for playing the game goes up by 2. So he'll go from a 5 to a 7.
Okay.
So you make a ease factor 5 gambling roll. If you can get quality 3 or better, you will influence the table so that he'll win the night.
Yeah, big winner. Okay.
He'll still have to roll, but hey. All right, so you have your 14 times 5, 70. I'll tell you, you need a 35 or better to get a quality 3 result.
A 62.
But you can spend a hero point if you want to.
Is one going to get me there, or do I have to spend more?
Yep. Nope. A 62 is a pass, right? Because you have a 70.
Okay.
Right. And 62 would be quality 4. So you would basically, you succeeded, but you didn't do well enough to influence the table, right?
Then I will spend my hero point.
If you spend 1 hero point, that'll take you to a quality result of 3, which is what I was looking for, which means his ease factor is +2. So I'm going to make his roll at times. I rolled the wrong die. I got D10s here, and they'll, with the 10s on them, and long story. I picked up the wrong dice. 5. And I'll do the dealer as well. So Q3 and the dealer. He does win the night. So by the end of the, you guys probably play for 2 hours, something like that, right? You're pretty cleaned out by the end of it all. And El Scorpion Blanco has a pile of chips, and he's quite happy as he's like pulling them together. You can tell that, you know what? I want you to roll a reaction roll at ease factor 3. So his bodyguard, Navarro, is giving you the stink eye. Let's see if he recognizes what you're doing. So, I also forgot all about to see if they recognize you or not.
Oh.
Yeah, let's do that too. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to do that first. See if they recognize you and know who you are. I'm not going to tell you. So, forgive me. I got to look up a couple of numbers here. Okay. They don't appear to recognize you, but you don't know if one of them does or not. But now I want you to make that reaction roll, which is the charisma check with an ease factor of 3. What's your charisma?
14.
Okay. 3 is a 42. You're going against a 42.
37.
Ooh. Barely succeeded. But what does that mean for reaction? That's what I want. That's a Q4. And the quality 4 reaction is antagonistic.
Mm.
All right. So as he sits back with his, like the Scorpion does with all of his chips, Navarro comes forward and he claps you on the shoulder and says, "I think you've played enough tonight, friend. It's time to give up your seat so someone else can play." And he grabs the back of your seat and he actually pulls it out on the floor. He's had enough. Scorpion is not paying. Scorpion is counting his chips. Okay, stand up.
Now, is the objective just for me to get a photograph of the guy?
It is. It is.
Okay. Well, I'm going to try to, at some point I would hope to get a decent angle. And
you're right next to him, man. You got cufflink, right?
Yeah,
so it's a stealth roll is the point.
Well, let's do it.
To get that done without them noticing.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So I'm going to say because Navarro is watching you, it's hard to do. And his, the fact that he is antagonistic is a -3. I don't know how many hero points you have left, but that means the ease factor for getting his picture is 2.
Great.
So your what's your stealth?
16. So
you got a 32% chance. And let's put it this way. The better the quality, the better the picture. Like a quality 4 will be like, I think that's a good likeness, but it's okay, right?
All right.
What'd you get?
96.
I
don't think any amount of hero points is going to help me with that.
That's not true. That's where if you've got 2, you can say that's a failure.
Right.
If you had rolled 00, then we'd be in, that'd be worse. But I mean, the issue is right now, not only have you failed to get a picture, right now, they'll know you took a picture.
Right.
With a failure.
Yeah.
You can spend a hero point to go to a quality 4 success, which is like a bad photograph. You can spend 2 to go to a quality 3, getting better, etc. Right? For how many hero points?
I'll spend 2.
Okay. So I think we can wrap it up by saying, as you're being escorted out, there's a moment when you're able to turn and you get a pretty quality 3. You get a pretty good picture of the Scorpion. as you're, shown essentially first removed from the table, and then Navarro actually walks you to the door. And he's like, I don't know what your game is, but it is up for the night. Enjoy the tables downstairs. Opens the door for you.
I nod, say, perhaps we'll meet again.
You should hope not. And he closes the door behind you. Click, click.
And then I as I exit the room and the door closes behind me, I look across the room and there's Contessa.
Do you want to try to look again?
And I put my hands out in front of me and as if to say, hello, there you are. And then I make my way across the room towards her. And then we can.
And that's how we close. Yep. There you go.
Bravo.